Have you got a 9-year-old or 10, 11, even 12-year-old daughter who has not yet had their first menstrual period, and now they are complaining that they've got an abdominal pain and you are panicking because you do not know whether this abdominal pain means that they're going to have their first menstrual period soon? Well, make sure you watch this video to the end because I'm going to show you some key signs that will help you know that your daughter is about having their first menstrual period. Why is it important for you to recognize when your daughter is about to have her first menstrual period? Like, why is it important that you don't just sit and wait for the menstrual period to happen, then you recognize that it has happened, and then you take it from there? There are several reasons, and I'm just going to give you 3 of them. The first one is the fact that you need to prepare your mind and prepare your daughter's mind for this new thing that is going to happen to her called menstrual period. Or whether it's a new thing, or I should say a new journey, which she's going to start. All right. Remember that the menstrual period is not the only thing that is happening to your daughter at this moment. So when she has her first menstrual period, that will not be the only thing that is happening. Her whole body is going through a change. And you can notice that by the fact that her breasts are developing, her hips are getting broader, and even mentally, she's developing. So the kinds of conversations which she has with you and the kinds of questions which she's asking are different from what they used to be. So a lot is already going on in her. And you would realize that in a few months, she'll be needing some things that she did not need before. One of them is like a bra. You need to start thinking about a bra for her. And then you would also realize that soon she needs a bit more privacy than she normally needed. So that's a lot of things happening to her. And you want to just process all of this in your mind and also accept the fact that your little daughter is growing up and is developing and is becoming more mature and is needing some things that you did not think about previously. So you need to prepare yourself for that. You also need to prepare your daughter. I mean, this is something which is going to be new for her, and she's going to have it for the next maybe 35 years or even more. And I think that a journey that is that long needs some level of preparation. You know, she needs to learn to live with this thing. She needs to know what it is all about and how to manage it. The second reason is the fact that you need to teach her. You need to teach your daughter before her menstrual period actually starts. You need to teach her what this menstrual period is all about, so she knows what to expect, how to care for herself, what is the right thing to do, what is not, what is the normal thing that happens when young girls and women have their menstrual period, and what is not normal. So she's able to spot the problems when they come. You know, she needs to have good information, and that sets her on a good foundation, a good pace in this journey with her menstrual period. So it's important that you start talking about it before the menstrual period starts, and that's why you need to spot the signs that they would start soon. And the third reason, of course, is the fact that you need to get supplies ready. You don't want your daughter's first menstrual period to start when there's nothing for you to use. There's no pads, there's no tampons. I mean, you don't have pants that she can use, and there's absolutely nothing just because it took you off guard. You know, you want to be ready with your supplies as well, so that when it happens, then you can just have a smooth transition into this menstrual period journey for your daughter. So let's look at 3 key things that you would observe in your daughter to make you begin to think that her first menstrual period is going to happen soon. The first thing which you will notice are a group of changes in her body. And this actually happens about 1 to 2 years before she actually has her first menstrual period. So there's nothing to worry about. There's no hurry, kind of, because she'll be about 8 years, 9 years, even 10 years for those girls who start their menstrual period about 12 years old. So you would notice things like the development of her breasts. So she just goes from this flat chest to her nipples protruding out a little bit. So once you start recognizing that her breasts are developing, you need to start thinking in your mind that in a couple of years, she would have her first menstrual period. Just about that same time, you'll also realize that she's developing pubic hair. All right, not a lot, it's just starting. And then there's also hair under the armpits, not a lot as well, just starting. And then you notice that her hips are broadening out a little bit. So when you notice these signs, in your mind start to think that in 1 or 2 years she's going to have her first menstrual period, and you can initiate the conversation at that time. Before I talk about the second sign, please don't forget to like this video and to share it, and to consider subscribing to the channel. Don't forget to turn on your notification bell so that each time I upload these videos, you do not miss out on them. So the second sign that you're going to observe in your daughter, and honestly with this one, you'd only know it if you had prepared your daughter prior, you had told her and talked to her about it so that when she sees it, she can let you know. So this one is a vaginal discharge which your daughter is going to notice either on her pants or when she goes to use the toilet and she uses like a tissue to clean herself. It's usually a whitish or creamy vaginal discharge. It could be thick or thin. All right, so she would just notice that this is a new thing. She has not had this discharge before. And if you had started talking to her about what menstrual periods are all about, then when she has this vaginal discharge, she can let you know. Now, once you know that she's had this vaginal discharge or she started having these vaginal discharges, you need to realize that in the next 4 to 6 months, your daughter is going to have her first menstrual period. And so that helps you to continue the conversation and to just get yourself ready. The third thing which you're going to notice in your daughter to know that she's going to have her first menstrual period are actually a group of signs which are classic. These ones are the classic things that happen during ovulation and also during the menstrual period. All right. So the first one will be the abdominal cramps. Remember that at this age, your daughter may not be able to fully describe the pain that she's feeling. She may just tell you she's feeling pain in her abdomen. All right. And that pain which she's feeling, sometimes she'll tell you that it's in the middle, or she'll tell you it goes around her waist, or that it even goes down to her legs. And sometimes they just cannot describe it. They just tell you it's an abdominal pain. You need to find out from her and just ask her some questions, prompt her a little bit to let you know whether the pain is intermittent, so it comes and it goes, or it's just a dull pain, whether she feels as if the pain is starting from one side to another. You need to monitor her for about 24 hours in the sense that if the pain just goes away by itself, maybe by the next day, you need to start thinking that it could be the pain that you feel during ovulation, because that pain just normally eases up by itself. All right, so that's the kind of thing which you'll be noticing when it comes to the pain. In the comment section, please describe the pain that you feel during ovulation. You'd also notice that your daughter's appetite is reducing, and actually it's not about the appetite, it's actually the bloating. So she feels like she's eaten, but she really hasn't eaten. So because she has that feeling, she doesn't want to eat anything more. And so what you would observe is the fact that her appetite is not as much as it used to be. You would also observe the fatigue. And again, these are things that happen during ovulation. So she's quite tired. But again, at this age, the children normally play at school. So they go to school and they're playing. And then sometimes it's difficult for you to really distinguish between the tiredness that comes from going to school and playing and working hard at school, and the tiredness that comes from the fact that she's about having her first menstrual period. But putting these two together, you just realize that your daughter is unusually tired, not as she used to be. So when you put all of this together, especially because she had that abdominal pain, and then the fact that her breasts are developing, and the fact that she's had that menstrual discharge, you need to start thinking. In about 2 to 3 weeks, she might have her first menstrual period. And then the classic mood swings. So your daughter is normally the bubbly one, or even the one who is quiet, but she's a bit unusually quiet. And it's actually moving from being quiet to being super excited, and then she's quiet, and then she's super excited. So the mood swings already start even at the first menstrual period. You need to start thinking that your daughter would have her first menstrual period in a couple of weeks, when you see this sign. One of the things that you need to talk to your daughter about is how to calculate her menstrual period, or how to know when her next menstrual period is due. I'm going to put the link in the description of the video which I've made to help you calculate your next menstrual period. And that's some resource which you can use to teach your daughter. Thank you for watching. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video.